Warning, the following is rated T for not for little Timmy's eyes. If you're young, you shouldn't watch this, so viewer discretion is advised. But hey, I won't tell if you won't. So Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997, and everyone was like,
incredible, amazing.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
Originally released on your dad's PlayStation 1 after it won the custody battle from the Nintendo 64, Final Fantasy VII shot its way into the hearts and minds of millions with its captivating story, characters, gameplay, boobs, and state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line, glowed-up graphics for the 90s. But being the first fully fledged 3D game by the formerly named Squaresoft, rest in peace, it was a monumental achievement in large-scale cinematic RPGs and gaming in general, cause Final Fantasy VII was absolutely packed with content from front to bottom. So packed it originally spanned over 3 discs, a secret 4th disc, and a bagel. It was the perfect blend of sci-fi, fantasy, and hippie mumbo-jumbo that forever imprinted itself on an entire generation of gamers and cosmetologists. The game was a cultural reset, and its influence and legacy has only grown since its inception, and has easily turned into Square Enix's most milkable bread and butter.
I want to make history. And that's what this is.
For reals though, everyone and their mother has got something to say about 7. Rather it be the original, the compilation spin-offs,
Me?
the movie,
I'm not crying,
or the remake projects. Since the initial release is considered one of the greatest games of all time. Elderly category. But despite being a pop culture phenomenon with millions of copies sold, copious amounts of merchandise, and a buffet of ports and versions to choose from, tons of folks still haven't played the original for what I'm sure are understandable reasons.
Far right authorization on ultranalytic. Oh my God!
Reading is very old school nowadays. I get it, guys. I do. I really do. But seriously, even though the graphics haven't aged gracefully, Final Fantasy VII is still very much a game worth playing today, regardless if you have any experience with the series, and especially if you want to fully appreciate and comprehend the glammed-up, ambitious remake projects that will be getting their own videos later, so please hit that sub and notification button, y'all. I promise it's coming. Eventually. It just didn't feel right making a For Beginners on Remake or Rebirth yet without covering the thing that started it all. You newcomers will be thanking me later once you're on the superfan gigabrain train like the rest of us. But anyway, if you happen to be new to the original Final Fantasy VII, here is a basic rundown with tips, tricks, and heads up for people who don't know about this game. So things start off after you make eye contact with the Buster Sword and a cryptic saleswoman in a dark, polluted alley. Soon after, the camera gets stuck on a seagull or something to reveal the gigantic, industrial, stinky, awe-inspiring techno city of Midgar. And look, the game title's here too. But Midgar is the most advanced city on the planet, with the Shinra Electric Company smack in the center, ruling over its urban pizza pie with an iron fist made of big business capitalism. Now, they may have used their private armies to do some tiny war crimes, human rights violations, bioweapon experimentations, and are sucking the planet's life force dry to power their endeavors. But you know what? They earned all that money and influence by pulling up their bootstraps, ditching the Starbucks, and securing a small loan of $1 billion. So if you're a hater, you're probably just jealous, okay? Anyway, the story quickly takes off when a speeding train ruins the wide shot, and we are introduced to the dude-flipping, guy-kicking, profanity-spitting eco-terrorist group, Avalanche.
Avalanche. Go green or get creed.
Okay, we gotta rework that one. I hear it now, guys. Scrap it. But the group is spearheaded by a big, strong, polygon-pumping man named Barrett, who is attempting to infiltrate and destroy one of the life stream-absorbing Mako reactors within the city. He's accompanied by Cloud, the protagonist, an ex-first-class soldier turned stoic mercenary who is hired as the fat sword muscle to assist the job. After some awkward small talk, a cardio workout, and some mech extermination, the gang ends up having relative success with their mission. But of course, blowing up expensive Shinra property doesn't go unnoticed, thus kicking off a chain of events that go way beyond some casual terrorism. Initially, Cloud only sticks around for the paycheck, but as the stakes get higher, and the presence of his longtime friend Tifa makes him harder, he finds himself wrapped up in the fight against Shinra, despite his too-cool-for-school attitude making it seem like he'd rather be anywhere else.
God, my feet are killing me. Free dental ain't worth all this climbing. Screw hot girl summer, I want a hot dog. Huh?
That would be me.
Who the hell are you?
Hello to you too.
Eventually, some more avalanche shenanigans cause Cloud to crash land his way into a friendship with a mysterious flower girl named Aerith, who doesn't take no for an answer and likes playing extreme tag with her probation officers. Then later, some, stuff happens, and Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud find themselves breaking into Shinra HQ. Only to discover that the real immediate threat to the planet is actually Sephiroth, the super sexy first-class soldier hero turned murderously mad villain with a thing for expensive conditioner and boiling hot tubs, who is surprisingly still alive despite some serious past drama with Cloud. The tension, the shade. These two are obsessed with each other. What? But after a gnarly chase scene and realizing that Midgar's HOA is very pissed from all the damages, Cloud and the gang decide to hit the open road to chase down and stop Sephiroth from whatever he's got cooking. Oh my god, it kind of smells good. Let him cook, guys. What is that? In the process, Cloud ends up befriending a bunch of other eccentric misfits who all know how to hold a grudge, but got something to prove. So they band together in an attempt to save the planet and maybe find themselves as well. Lobotomy style, baby.
What? There you are.
Hello?
You just want to spend more time with me.
Security!
But along the way, you'll meet mysterious migraines, corporate furry spies, inconsistent proportions, human trafficking, the League of Extraordinary Exploitative Managers, child bartending, gender loans, the original Stairmaster, slurs, a silver spoon suit-wearing slut, what I hope are ketchup smears. The original sexy vampire boyfriend, Baja Blast Inception, roommate disputes, 3D gyrating, activism, flashbacks, theater kids, Eris? Or is it Aerith? What's up with that? Did they ever make that clear? You know, the ever-long, gamer debate? I don't know. Fight about it in the comments, guys. Who cares? Mr. Dolphin, the Magic Dolphin. Seaman in disguise. Long, peaceful, wet dreams. Deadly math. Mommy's metal milkies. Num num. Did Sephiroth do this? Gambling, shrugging, space, nature, green. And Sephiroth on his way to see Mother. So obviously I had to paraphrase some of the details because Final Fantasy VII is an absolutely dense, deep-fried story with twists, turns, trauma, and goofy-ass shit in every encounter.
My good sir, thy cosplay convention is that away.
Seriously, these graphics were groundbreaking at the time and still get the gist across, but the anime Roblox look does tend to soften the blow to some of the more disturbing things that happen. Like, imagine if 9/11 happened in the Lego movie, but the towers fell over instead. It's that kind of contrast. However, if you use a little imagination and open your ears to the music, you will be rewarded with an emotionally gripping tale with a huge, colorful cast of characters, locations, with intense battles against Shinra and Sephiroth, gone wrong, gone array, gone weird, gone right through someone's torso. Just kidding, it's Mario's overalls. But the story gradually unfolds from eco-terrorists taking on the man to deep personal struggles and relationships that help shape the fate of the planet. Rather it be keeping a promise, achieving one's dreams, fighting for the greater good, how many jawbreakers can be shoved into one's pants, or just good old-fashioned redemption.
Ty? What you watching there?
Now, even though the story is very deliberate with its themes and meaning, aka stop killing the planet, and also believe in your true self, the game does allow for some wiggle room to personalize your experience. The first being the old school RPG feature of changing the character's name upon their introduction. Cause yeah, the battle between Cloud and Sephiroth is tense and all, but the clash between Beefaroni and Cool Ranch is where the real action is.
You give me back my man, bitch!
Have fun with it. The second customizable aspect is the party itself. Despite the large cast and friends, Cloud tends to travel in a throuple, so you can choose who gets to be a part of certain story moments and see what your faves have to say to the situation.
Y'all late.
There are also 2 optional party members that can be acquired rather easily as long as you go looking for them, and you will. You will! The last custom feature is the dialogue. Cloud's got some major zingers hidden behind those lack of lips.
Smelly butt face.
And you'll be able to pick and choose his responses throughout. While most of these choices only slightly alter the conversation or lead into awkward moments, some don't, and certain decisions affect whether or not you get specific items, story moments, or weapons. So choose wisely here.
Party, 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 party.
Don't worry about altering the ending or anything, but if you're nervous you're gonna miss out on something cool, check out the links below for the full dialogue guide, so you can go on a date with Tifa. I meant Tifa. Seriously. Okay, you know what? No, I'm making a stand here. Love is love, damn it. It's Barrett. It's always been Barrett. He's everything I need. He's everything I want. I love you. Besides that, Final Fantasy VII is a very straightforward experience that any new curious player can enjoy out the gate. No homework required. If anything, it's almost guaranteed to bring a smile to your face, tears to your eyes, and guilt to your heart for not recycling your pizza boxes. What are you doing? The planet is dying! Take out your recycling right now! Now that's all the narrative stuff you need to know, but how the heck are you gonna chase Sephiroth's hot, luscious locks around the planet? Oop, there he goes. So design-wise, Final Fantasy VII is roughly a 40-plus hour, mostly open-world experience with linear sections and story beats. However, the first few hours exclusively happen in Midgar, where you are literally railroaded to catch you up on the character's motives, world lore, and combat basics, while showing off the wonders of Shinra's free market innovations. Be mindful that this is a very, very hunky introduction with so much action and adventure it could be its own game. Literally, and we'll get to that. But once you leave the city and hit the great outdoors, the real Final Fantasy VII begins. So you'll navigate through the open world map using the highly advanced, please enhance, cloud operational omnidirectional computerized hydraulic instigator engine, or the Coochie for short, to get where you need to go to progress the story. Now you are totally free to explore wherever you can, when you can, but the story beats are going to take you on a whole planet world tour, so it's non-stop sightseeing to places like Colonial Williamsburg, Junon, or Gunon to be precise, Coastal Del Schlong, Rocket Town, Mount Everest's cousin, Nebel Mr. Don't Burn Down My House, a knockoff MC Escher Room, gayer Las Vegas,
Gungaga!
the Magic Conch Shell Shower, that city I forgot the name of, and the Pussy Cat Room, and much, much more. So normally, the characters will state where you're supposed to go with some vague hints on how to get there, but you gotta pay attention to these hints, cause the game doesn't feature any objective markers, mission summaries, directional billboards, no nothing. This is good old-fashioned hearsay navigation, just like Mother used to make. You won't get overwhelmed with options early on, trust me. But because this is the great outdoors and not all protagonists are waterproof, there are locations and terrain that can only be accessed with certain forms of transportation outside of the Coochie, such as an 8-wheeled Hummer, a chicken, Amelia Earhart's plane, a submarine, and a Yeehaw airship. Luckily, these are mostly obtained through the story, so don't worry about this too much. But just know, once you got them, and you can take them for a joyride whenever.
Oh, yeah!
You got a whole world pack with little dots of interest, so get curious, take your time, soar around, go for a little cruise at the bottom of the ocean. Do whatever you crazy kids do nowadays. You never truly know what you'll come across in nature until you see it for yourself. But truth be told, there are some sections of the game that require you to find key items and isolated locations, so make a habit of revisiting older areas once you have the means to do so. It also helps to have an actual world map on the side, because these dots are very vague. And fellas, we have been burning a ton of gas looking around for this temple. We're doing CO2 donuts out here. Maybe we should ask for directions. But reaching a location is honestly the easy part. Figuring out what you're supposed to do there is where things get tricky. Now, most areas are a series of connected rooms portrayed by background art way more detailed than you, but your immediate objective is going to constantly be changing, from seducing a crime lord, to kicking it with dolphins, to having a slumber party in the Haunted McMansion, figuring out what your zodiac sign is, confronting the death and destruction caused by your failures, to simpler things like kidnapping chocobos, ruining a military parade, shoving your head into the dirt, or just paying off debts to Big Dio.
Whatever Daddy wants, Daddy gets.
Seriously, there is no distinct pattern on what this game wants you to do. One moment you're fighting a MILF parasite on a boat or punching dudes on a speeding train, then dodge rolling through the Temple of Doom, and the next thing you know, you're suddenly being launched into space by accident. With all that said, there are a few constants to be mindful of to make progression smoother, regardless of what you're doing. The first is words. Take extreme notice of any colored words, particularly the toothpaste ones, because it's normally your next needed location. And despite his quiet, stoic demeanor, you gotta make Cloud an extrovert by talking to everyone. And I mean everyone, from poverty-stricken kids, guards, thugs, Karens, Kens, the trash bag clan, cooking mamas, and even the dude throwing up in the bathroom. You are a gossip queen, empathing to save the world, okay? So look them dead in the eyes and say, sup. They will either point you in the right direction, give you an item, be a necessary step in unlocking something, or just good old-fashioned conversation with out-of-pocket comments.
You know, I read from the Shinra Chronicles that methane's really healthy for your lungs. Bottoms up, as they say. Take a deep breath, hun.
But before you do anything drastic, be sure to search every nook and cranny of every area. You will be returning to several locations, and while you can backtrack through 80% of the game, you can't for the other 20, and I don't know what piece of the pie that is. So be nosy when you can and rub up against every corner, because the camera perspective likes to be cheeky about hiding spots sometimes, and you do not want to miss out on the Betty Crocker set. Also, to avoid playing the infuriating game of, can I go there? Or is it just the background art? Please turn on the entryway guides. The button can vary, and I don't know which version you're playing on, but they will show arrows for areas that you can enter and things to interact with, and if you don't like being poked by the Mickey Mouse Glove constantly, get over it. You do not want to get stuck in some of these places, trust me.
It doesn't end, it's just miles and miles of sand. I'm never getting out of here. I'm never getting out of here. Never. Oh! Well, that's convenient.
So you might spend some extra time needlessly running around trying to figure out where you're supposed to go, especially in the second half of the game, but as long as you explore your options and harass people, the story should unfold smoothly. So it's just best to take your time and enjoy the ride. But let's move on from how you navigate all of the nature to showing nature who's boss. So, gameplay-wise, Final Fantasy VII is a turn-based RPG, but with some extra polygons and Activia thrown in there. But seriously, the combat actually features the ATB system, which is just standard turn-based, tit-for-tat, back-and-forth number smacks, but commands only activate after a certain amount of time, as if the characters' brains are buffering before they act. The timers are automatic, so don't think about them too much, but you do need to think hard and fast about your choices, because the enemy is happy to let loose while you shuffle around in the menu. So chop chop, y'all. Be decisive. Now, if you're eager to retaliate, you always have your basic brute force attacks to rely on whenever, especially if you have feral Erets in your party. But efficient combat relies on a few things to get the job done, and hear the cute little jingle we all love. The first major factor is materia. These condensed Mako energy super balls of power are how anything cool happens, both narratively and in combat. From blasting fire and ice from your fingertips to mangling, minifying, manifesting, and motorboating. These balls do it all, folks. Stealing, sensing, seducing, sautéing, and even summoning. Whatever you need, Materia can get it done. Just ask yourself, did the wife and kids leave? Are you overwhelmed with all of those emails? Does the constipation still hurt? There's a Materia for that. I'll get into the management details later, but just know variety is key, cause enemies come in all shapes and sizes. From Shinra guards and death machines to spiky worms, killer eggs, biker gangs, tanks, snakes, drakes, hot cakes, dinosaurs with no brakes, and of course, the hellish home's a sweet embrace. There really is no shortage of weirdos you'll encounter throughout your adventures, but everyone is susceptible to something. Anything, really. The second big combat factor is your limit break. After giving or receiving enough damage, your character will finally snap and can activate a limit break where they go absolute sherbert mode on the poor unfortunate souls in your way. Limit breaks clearly love getting attention because they literally replace your standard attack command until it's used, so don't be shy about popping off, babe. But each character's limits are unique and aren't all anvils of damage and slot machines of pain. For example, Arabs can shower the party with rejuvenating avocado juice, Red 13's Lunatic High funnels you a bottle of Adderall, Yuffie can bubble your problems away, and Vincent's got the full emo combo meal where he can turn into Chaos, the Ohio Chainsaw Massacre Man, and Frankenhunk for the entirety of the fight. There is also a variety of limit types and tiers that you can unlock by completing certain requirements, so links below on how to unlock and discover all of the limits. It's more weird than you think. By the way, this is a random encounters game, so get ready to be jump scared by a screen twirl while walking around. And because you can get thrown into combat whenever, it is best to be prepared before entering any new areas. Sadly, you don't know what's on the map until you encounter it, so be on your toes, cause you never know what's around the corner. Now, luckily, when it comes to the big bosses, most of the fights are very straightforward beefin' battles, with the occasional supposed to lose encounter or story set piece interruption for the drama.
You'll never see me again.
If anything, bosses mostly just take longer to beat, so you gotta manage your stats well cause you burn up a lot of MP using materia, and when you're out, oh boy, combat is a numeric endurance test when you boil it down, so keep them digits up, and the less red you see down there, the better, cause enemies will gleefully beat you to death, and you do not want to see that fugly game over screen. It's embarrassing. Also, what the hell is up with this? Why does it look like that? You're way more likely to survive any encounter the higher your level, and you gain experience after defeating enemies. So if you feel like you're being bullied by the Turks or the tree people, just go spin around in the coochie for a bit, get those levels up, get some bigger balls, and come back and bring the ecologically friendly, ethically farmed hellfire. Now the combat is gonna take up the bulk of your journey, but outside of that is where the gameplay gets, a little funky. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII is famous for its obscure mini-games that seem to pop up in every situation, regardless if they are tonally appropriate. Things like motorbike chases, KFC races, steamy squat-off, CPR vapor lock, big button slamming, tortured chamber escaping, and synchronized army marching, followed by rifle DDR. They all have different gimmicks, mechanics, and frustration levels, cause breathe! Breathe, you stupid child! Now, most of these are very shallow, one and done, never to be visited again, but some of the larger ones can be failed entirely and have the story keep moving along just fine, assuming you don't want the fabulous prizes, that is. But over at the Buns Research Division... Oh god. Sephiroth got to him. Oh, dang it. Well, as you can see, we have shirts, so those are still standing. Check them out. Links below. moving on. We have calculated the minimal effort needed to fail some of these minigames successfully, such as the submarine mission, where you can either destroy your target as instructed, or float around, join the under the sea music number until the clock runs out, and congratulations, you won! Nothing. But the story doesn't really care either way. You can just go back to the sub afterwards and steal it for realsies in a more simple manner, if you wanna. There is also the Fort Condor Tower Defense mission, where I highly recommend you ignore them till you have no choice, give everyone false hope by saying you got this, and then with a smile on your face, let Shinra ruthlessly bulldoze their way to the top so you can fight them yourself, because I am not dealing with all of this slow as slop crap! What is this? There are also a few instances later in the game where failure is technically acceptable, but not ideal for avoiding collateral. So, no matter what your intended strategy is, it is always best to try your best, okay? The minigames most often involve input timing and smooth movements, so... What the fuck? Be sure to follow the instructions, know your buttons, and get into the rhythm, baby.
Why do I keep getting attracted? 자석같이 끌려가.
Okay, hopefully the K-pop made the right people click off the video. Now it's just us. Now don't tell the Pro Gamers Extreme this, cause what I'm about to say stays between you, me, and Sephiroth fogging up the window outside. But for those who want a more, convenient experience, a lot of modern ports of Final Fantasy VII have built-in toggle cheats. Check your versions, because the features vary, but in the Switch's case, a few analog clicks gets you no encounters, God mode, and 3 times speed so you can zoom through and eviscerate everything, because it's all limits all the time, juiced out to the max, baby! It's an ideal way to play if you really want to experience, Power Fantasy VII, you know? But you didn't hear that from me, and I am now legally obligated to play this. Now, fighting is one thing, but preparing for a fight is what really makes the difference between winning and being smeared across the wall by a bloodthirsty wall. As mentioned before, Materia is the source of all things cool in the Final Fantasy VII universe, and what's even cooler is neatly organizing them in the menus. So let's get into everyone's favorite segment of Materia Management, sponsored by the Shinra Electric Company. We make big balls for big problems that we cause. So there are 5 types of power skittles you gotta worry about. You got magic, support, command, summon, and independent. They level up with frequent use and can permanently unlock new tiers of abilities with each level, like a basic fire materia can eventually be used to cast Viagra, or a barrier materia can be leveled up to unlock a reflect spell, or a vitality materia can upgrade to... Can we say Viagra? Anyway, because you're going to be picking up and buying materia non-stop, the biggest thing you need to remember is that no matter the type, level, color, or how it gazes into your eyes, as long as you got a slot on your weapon or armor, the character can use that materia. You got total freedom to mix and match your party with any abilities you want. You can make Barret a walking ambulance with nothing but healing and support materias, or you can let Yuffie take all the summoning materia and watch her conquer the universe. With that in mind, how you combo materia is very important, because 1, they affect the character's general stats, and 2, they affect each other. For example, let's look at Tifa's loadout here. Oh my god, no, her loadout! So her equipment determines how many materia slots she gets, and if you put a lightning materia and an all materia in the same slots that look like a pair of boobs, then her lightning magic can smother all enemies. Kinda cool. Of course, there are limitations since support materias can't be paired up with everything, like you can't combo an elemental materia with a command, or combine an all materia with a steel materia with the hopes of robbing everybody at once, as cool as that would be. You gotta make it make sense, but that can become a little tricky when there is a lack of detailed descriptions on what certain materias do. Like, what do you want me to do with that? So links below on the full materia list so you know exactly what's in your balls. You're gonna have a lot of balls by the end of the game, so try to keep all them balls organized by using the nifty arrange options. You know you're doing things right when you spend a good amount of time just shuffling through and testing out your balls and Oh, just play it, guys. You know it's coming.
Balls, 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 balls.
Now, just as important as your ball types is what you use to firmly hold them. This is where your equipment comes in. You know, what kind of frying pan you're wielding and what kind of Tupperware you're wearing. Each character has a ton of weapons, armors, and accessories that can be discovered around the world, won as prizes, or bought in stores. And God knows you're going to be doing a lot of shopping, cause look at all those sick deals! While more slots means more materia abilities, stats and special effects are just as important, cause they can really give you the upper hand against specific fights, such as elemental drains, general resistances, and attitude. Obviously, the bigger numbers the better in most cases, but just be sure to check your equipment often to upgrade everyone with the latest and greatest you found in a sales bin or pulled from the ground or something. You'll be amazed at what sneaks into that inventory when you're not paying attention. But then there are the items which come in super handy in and outside of battle as an essential way to keep up your HP and MP, remove status effects, resurrect a party member, blow people up, and serve delicious, nutritious juice. But after you're all balled out and geared up, the last thing you really need to consider is who gets to be in the Cloud Strife Polycule? Let's look at our contestants now. He's somehow a 32-year-old pilot and engineer, known best for his heart of gold, lungs of ash, and verbal beratement of his closest confidants. This lucky bachelor likes rocket science, long walks on the beach, Mexican food, and stabbing things from the sky. Looking for love and a spiky-haired wannabe to lead the way, let's give it up for Sid Highwind! Anyway, because you can customize everyone's basic abilities, it really just boils down to whose limits you want and who will keep the best company. Now, you can change the party basically any time on the world map or at a save point by ringing them up on the PHS phone. What the? However, certain story segments will sometimes dictate your party for you, and this is a full team effort adventure after all, so it is best to keep everyone well fed and beefy, cause you never know when it's all gonna come down to Aerith living on a prayer. Now, the main story stuff is going to be a whole circus on its own, but Final Fantasy VII is filled with optional side quests, locations, and bosses that normally grant you items, story moments, and a huge piece of humble pie. It's kind of hard to distinguish exactly what's optional and what's mandatory in a first playthrough, because you'll often stumble upon these undertakings organically, or forcefully, depending on your curiosity, but many of them can be accessed during your free exploration time between story events, especially after unlocking a new vehicle. From excavating the key to the city, getting goofy at the Golden Saucer, breeding chocobos for charity, getting turn at the Turtle Paradise, wallowing around in Wutai looking for your wallet, scouring suspicious sunken airships, analyzing the ancient forest for goodies, and cruising around the Crystal Cave to admire the dumbest girl alive. You'll often be rewarded for your tourism, so it's never a bad idea to backtrack to older areas once you have the means to do so. Now, several of the extra bosses become available near the end of the game, and it's not hard to find them because some of them are just standing there. Serving. But seriously, actually defeating them requires a very powerful party, patience, and possibly a game of tag. Also, because some of the party members are technically optional, and I don't want to have to break into your house and have a polite conversation about why you failed to follow my instructions. This is how you specifically get Yuffie and Vincent in your party. In Yuffie's case, all you gotta do is run around the first protruding forest area you come across on the world map, eventually get into a battle with her, knock her upside the head real hard, don't touch the save point, and then pick the proper dialogue. And then ta-da! You've kidnapped a child. And of course, to add my muse to the party, enter this code in the Shinra Manor safe precisely, while timed. Good luck. But once it's unlocked, fight the prize hidden inside, and then pick up the basement key in the safe. Work your way down to the underground, enter the wooden door in the hallway, crack that coffin wide open, mention Sephiroth, take the cold shoulder like a champ, knock on that top again, and then say, "Hey, can I buy you a drink, handsome?" So with all that being said, please be aware that some optional content can be missed by accident by progressing the story to a point of no return. So links below on the full optional content list so you don't miss anything worth missing. Now here are a bunch of tips and things you should know before you get started, but also this game is like 20 plus years old and every conceivable detail and exploit exists online somewhere, so here are just some top newcomer essentials, okay? If the ATB system is too much pressure on your decision making, you can adjust the battle speeds in the configuration menu. Really helps if you're trying to be more strategic with your inputs. You can place party members in the backline of your formation, which halves any received or dished out damage. Basically, keep her back there. She's safer in her enclosure, you know. Some equipment and weapons have growth multipliers, very useful for leveling up anything quickly, so keep an eye out. The Fort Condor vendors have the all materia in stock, very useful, very much in abundance, but very expensive. You kidnap chocobos by buying greens at the farm, throwing them out during combat to keep the bird busy, and then quickly take out other enemies so it's just you and Tweety at the end of the battle. The more expensive the greens, the longer you have to clear the other enemies, cause some of these be gourmet meals that need to be savored apparently. Breeding and raising chocobos is like a whole elaborate optional thing and necessary to reach the Materia cave using the golden chocobo, so it is worth the time sink if you really want to get some of the best items in the game. Personally, I avoid this because I'm not about that chicken nonsense, but hey, you can check it out if you wanna. The enemy skill materia does exactly what you think it does, but in order to gain an enemy's ability, a party member needs to be hit by said attack while having the materia equipped. Some of these are incredibly powerful, by the way, so if you want to forcefully make sure that you get hit with the right thing, use the manipulate materia to make these dummies dance. Don't forget to use the source items you pick up along the way to increase individual stats. Very useful if you're trying to min-max. There are 6 Turtle Paradise posters scattered around the world that you can exchange for goodies in Wutai. Happy hunting, you turtle stands. Don't feel like you have to fight everything. Being a coward is wise if you stumble across something that is out of your league. Seriously, back out while you still can, because this is an old school game, and being sent back to the last save that you made 6 hours ago is gonna hurt like hell. And with that being said, save! Save, damn it! There's like a bajillion slots, alright? Use them! Make intervals! Do not be overwriting on the same thing. It's ridiculous. There are points of no return in this game. Think about it! Experience Plus and Guild Plus materia, along with other goodies, can be exchanged for GP at the Golden Saucer. Have fun grinding out those arcade games and betting on birds to get the goods, though. It's a lot of fun, I guess. The busted Bronco can only traverse through shallow water, so pay attention to where the land masses connect to get the most mileage. Talk to the weapon dude to get the battery you're looking for. Also, good luck with the industrial hell swing. Hate that thing. Dio at the Golden Saucer is the one that's got the keystone, okay? You gotta grab that first if you want to go temple running. So put on a show for Mr. Mans, alright? He's earned it. You can eventually return back to Midgar by speaking to the dude who lost his key, and then you go dig up the key in the boneyard here, so it's your key now. If you want to brighten things up with a personal touch, you can change the menu gradient color to whatever you fancy. And yes, I did choose black because it's easier to edit with, and it's the best color. Okay, and one last little cheat tip between you and me, but the rare W item materia found near the end of the game can be used to duplicate any field item. Just use the materia in battle, select the item you want to copy, and then just cancel out of the use option. Rinse and repeat without even having to end your turn, and boom! The economy's in shambles. This is an excellent way to get an endless amount of money by selling a surplus of ethers you conjure out of thin air. Happy counterfeiting, y'all. Spend it wisely. So while Final Fantasy VII may have lost some of its luster over the years, it doesn't take away from the fact that it is one of the most iconic adventures in all of gaming, with a legacy that is still going strong today. The original 7 stands as a timeless blueprint and has cultivated a sprawling series and universe unlike any other. Now 7 has definitely been milked over the decades by Square Enix, but you gotta admit that we've been served some quality cream lately, and it's all thanks to the ambition and passion of the original. But I hope this basics beginner's guide makes your gaming experience a little better. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Yo, yiggity yo, welcome to the end of the video. Still not dead if you can believe it. Hi. I got a ton of videos in the pipeline, I promise, and I really look forward to spooking y'all's sub-notification again in the future when they are ready to be released, of course. But hey, we're here now, and none of my content would be possible without my amazing patrons. Y'all are the realest, coolest gamers out there, and I am forever grateful for y'all's support. Seriously, mwah, just mwah, all over the place. Bless. And this episode's patron shout out goes to Glasses and Cake, Liam Faye, and G-Bon. Thank you all so much, and don't forget to mosey on down. Also, I want to give a massive thank you to Forever KT for lending his voice and talents to make this video happen. Please go ahead and give him a follow on any of his socials for me down below. Seriously, his contributions to this were priceless. Thank you so much, KT. If y'all want to see some chiller content in between my sporadic uploads, consider checking out the side channel, Super Extra Bones, and my Twitch for long-form gaming stuff. I hope to be back here with more videos sooner rather than later, so thank y'all for sticking with me, but that's all I got for now. And I guess, until next time, y'all, toodles!
It's over.